All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man, Jay Will. So this is a follow-up video on my Acer Chromebook. This is the 15.6 inch touchscreen Chromebook with the Intel Pentium in here from Acer. Now, I reviewed this laptop, this Chromebook a while back, and it's time to give you a follow-up video on it. This has been a good experience, man. This is a touchscreen laptop, although I don't use the touchscreen hardly ever. It is a touchscreen laptop. This is one of Acer's latest offerings, and I have been using this. This is a Chromebook. Now, some people may have this as their main computer, like this is what they're using, and it's totally doable. Lots of pros to this and some cons after having it for an extended period of time. This computer has a very high rating in most of the places that I look at. And right now, Best Buy has it for $350 at the recording of this video, which is April 20th, 2018. It's on sale for $349, but you also get student deals on this now. So they're offering student deals during the beginning of the year and last year. I had it since last year. There were some great deals on here where it dropped down to $299, get a free home, Google Home, and just there's a bunch of different things. But $350, and then on top of that, you can get a student deal, which I think they might give you another $50 off or something. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, this is a great starter laptop and a great full-time laptop for a lot of people out there, I'm sure. Now, some of you guys, like I was saying before, might have this as your only laptop, and that is a good deal because you're getting a lot here. You're getting, to start off here, and this is just a recap of how the computer's been treating me and how I feel about owning a Chromebook after all this time. So the pluses to this thing, there's a lot of them, but just to cover some of the key ones that I have here is this is a big screen and it's a touch screen. That's a huge plus. That can really help you out if you need to do gestures and things like that, because sometimes on a trackpad, it could be kind of hard. Yeah, no pinch to zoom on this trackpad, but you can pinch to zoom on the monitor or the screen itself. So another thing is this 15-inch canvas here. This thing, you can play games on here. I've tried it. It's kind of finicky because this isn't a gaming laptop. However, this computer can play games, and that's a huge plus. Another thing is the computer itself is built very well. It's a very sturdy computer. I've actually dropped this and kind of tilted over a little bit. Not hard, but I've kind of dropped it and knocked it aside, and it survived, and that's a good thing. Another good thing is there's a lot of canvas here to type on. I have very big hands. I mean, I'm a big guy and I have huge hands, and there's a lot of surface here, literally. And with that surface, you get a great typing experience on here. The keyboards are, the keys are nice and clicky, and they've been standing the test of time with me. I have used this for some Google Docs, because Google Docs obviously is this is a Chromebook, so it's easy integration here with the Chrome browser, and just having Google period on here. Google Docs is where I do a lot of printing for labels and things like that, and typing out Word Word docs before I post them onto a website sometimes. And this computer, having it by the bedside is where I keep it. It's come in handy a whole bunch. Now, aside from that big surface and that great keyboard and that touch screen, you do get a nice front-facing wide-angle camera there. The camera does shoot in 720p, and it's good. The screen is 1080p, is what I meant to say. But the camera is shooting in 720p, and it's actually pretty good. The fact that it's a wide-angle camera, if you've got the right setting and the right lighting, you can get some great footage from there. Great vlogs can be done with this thing. You can attach a microphone, external microphone. I've done it before. You've got a full-size USB over here. You've got Type-C, Kensington lock over there as well. And on this side, you've got Type-C, full-size full-size USB, headphone jack, and a micro SD card slot. So that's a huge plus. Now, I've utilized that by plugging up an external microphone that I have, and it works with no problems. I actually recommend that you use an external microphone if you're going to use this for vlogs or anything like that, because the microphones on here, not very good. It's one microphone there, and the other one is a LED. On the front by the camera. So there's an LED and a microphone up there. I used to think that was two microphones, but I learned the hard way. It is not two microphones. This is kind of one might look at this and say this is a poor man's MacBook, but because it kind of resembles a MacBook. When I first saw this, I was like, man, this thing looks just like a 15-inch MacBook. The keys are the same as the old MacBook Pros, 2015 on down. It feels fantastic. It's kind of heavy. It's on the heavier side, so I don't suggest that you try to freestyle this all the time. You can do it But it'll get heavy on you after a while. Very large surface here, lots of canvas to deal with. Now there's a couple of, it says view models. Now this website, updated, but it might not have the new black version on here. I don't think that it will. It might. Yeah, I think this is the new black version right here. I've got it on the Best Buy website though. Nonetheless though, this is Chrome OS, and living with Chrome OS is where it stops for me. I kind of just use this, as you heard me say before, I use this for bedside usage, basic typing and web browsing. And I do some YouTube on here because, this does have applications. So down here, these are actually applications. It's apps, so if I go into my library here, anybody else been having problems with the YouTube library, not loading your videos up? That's what's been happening to me. It'll crash out just like that. Now it's definitely the application itself, because this is happening on all my phones, whether it's iOS or Android. This is happening, and eventually it'll load up. It'll decide to load up. But that's kind of a bad deal, YouTube. You need to hurry and fix that. I tweeted about that. And then finally here, you get some videos come up. Now I'm going to play video here so I can test these speakers out and show you how loud they are. They're not very loud. I've talked about this before. All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man, Jay Will. So here's an updated video, long-term review with the MacBook Pro 2017. This is the latest model that Apple offers right now. And it's nice. I have really been enjoying this machine. Now, I use this machine when I'm not up here in the office. I use this normally stays downstairs, and I have another laptop that I keep up here by the bedside when I want to get on the laptop and relax in bed. This is an extension of my 5K iMac. These start at $1,299, and they go upwards of probably $2,000-$3,000, depending on how you spec them out. Now, and that is the way they sound. This is the way the speakers sound right here. Now, that was at 100% volume, so that gives you some sense of how loud these speakers could be. But when you start to lower it down, they definitely lose a lot of power. But that's just one thing about the computer that I enjoy. I like watching YouTube through the application, but mainly you should do it through the browser on here. If you have 4K content, it'll scale it. It won't. This is a 1080p display, but you can scale to it, and it'll be a little bit more sharp. But this is a 4 gig model with 32 gigs internal storage. There is a new model in black, which has a lower resolution screen, less memory, but still there's options out there. The black one is nice. I really like the color of the black one, but that's pretty much what I'm liking about it. This is probably the more powerful of the two, because you got that Intel processor with the 4 gigs of RAM. But this is a good setup, man. I mean, overall, I can see why a person would want to use a Chromebook because they're very affordable. But for heavy editing and things like that, I've seen videos and tutorials of people saying, oh, I can use this for editing. And I've actually tried it. And you know what? It was very difficult. Here comes the things that I kind of dislike about using a Chromebook. Basic things, because there's apps and then there's web apps. And at first, again, I've talked about this in my other videos on this laptop. I didn't know that at first. And I was like, wait a minute, am I opening the web app or and so finally you see that you have applications. And this is your app drawer right here. So let me get it open here. This is the app drawer. So these are the apps that I have installed. And it was kind of confusing at one point. I was like, what the heck? But that's one thing I don't like about it's like having an Android phone with duplicate applications. This is just how it is sometimes. But overall, the experience on here for editing, it's not up to par yet. I've seen tutorials on YouTube saying you can edit on this and you don't need an actual laptop or Windows or Mac. I kind of disagree. Because I can edit better on a phone with the same applications that I can on here. And this has a bigger surface. I don't know what it is. I've tried it. I have the Power Producer, the paid version. I have another paid application for editing, and it's just not the same on a Chromebook for some reason. It stretches it thin. It's not scaled right. It's just not a pleasing experience for me. Some people, you guys are able to make it work. I applaud you for being able to make that work. But for me, it's a no-go. I couldn't use this as an editing machine. It just wouldn't work. Transferring things to the laptop is fine and everything. However, the overall, if I just had to have this as my only machine to edit and work with, I wouldn't do any editing on it. I don't think. I think I would just do basic web browsing, media consumption, docs and things like that. And I would stick to using a smartphone for some serious editing. I know that sounds crazy, but my experience for editing on here is just it's not realistic for a person who does a lot of editing. So if you do want something for education, these are all over the education system right now. Schools have these left and right. And that's a huge plus, that these are affordable. Kids can learn with them, high school students, whoever, because you can sync up on here with Google and it's perfectly fine. The docs is really nice on here. PowerPoint, Excel, spreadsheet, all that is Google Docs is loaded up. And that's pretty much where I stand with Chromebooks at this point. Again, having this since it came out, since launch, it's an experience. Again, Chromebooks are not for everybody. I definitely prefer a Mac, over this. I have a MacBook Pro. But I'm going to try getting a Windows laptop. Well, I do have one. I'm going to start posting footage on my experience with a Windows laptop, but it's not just going to be any Windows laptop. So this to me is kind of at the bottom of the food chain when it comes to laptops. And that's not an insult. That's just reality for me. For you, it might be just the opposite. You might say, well, I'm not paying $1,500, $1,600 for a laptop when I can pretty much do the same thing on here. That may be true. You can do certain things on here, but the power behind it and the time to do it is definitely limited on here. That's just what it is. These aren't made to be powerhouse editing machines. Even though Google sells them for from $1,000 to $1,700 for a Chromebook, all you're paying for that, all you're getting there is hardware, because you get the same experience. You do get a higher and faster processor, but it's still just Chrome, And I don't think that you're going to get any different in experience from $1,000 or $1,500 Chromebook than a $300 or $400 Chromebook like this one. So that's just my take on that. So if you do use this Chromebook, I know you love it. I know you enjoy it, because I absolutely that's all I've heard. People who I recommend this to, and people I know online that watch the videos, like watching this video now, the people that have it love it, and it might be their only computer. And so they're making do with what they have. Like I said before, if this was my only computer, if this is my only laptop, I would not do editing on it. I would save the editing for my smartphone. I will have a very powerful smartphone to do all my editing. And it's totally possible. You don't even need a powerful smartphone to do all my editing. All your editing, you just really wouldn't need that. But this is an updated video on my Acer 15.6 touchscreen Chromebook with Intel Pentium, 4 gigs of RAM. A downside could be memory. Like, this has 32 gigs of memory, but I popped a 64 gig in there and also tried a 128, and they all work. So, you do have flash memory, or external memory that you can plug in there. You can also plug in a thumb drive too if you wanted to, which I've done that before too, to watch movies and stuff like that. I have a thumb drive up here that I use. And when I plug it in, this is my thumb drive with a fingerprint reader. So I can plug this in here. And I'm not going to unlock the main portion of it because, there might be some private stuff on there. Nonetheless, if I go to my file manager, here's the drive right here. I've got everything on there. It's a bunch of movies, just a bunch of stuff on here. Let's look at this. I can play this directly from the thumb drive. And you see it loads right up. And so, see that loaded right up, and that's coming directly from the thumb drive, and that's just the way it is. So it's a huge plus for owning this Chromebook and several other Chromebooks. Samsung makes some great Chromebooks. I'll be sure to probably try to get one. But as long as I have this one, any other Chromebook would just be for review, and I don't want to buy something I'm not going to keep and use. If anything, I would sell this one off and get a smaller Chromebook, maybe a 13 or a 12. And that might suit me well by the bedside as well. But I do have my 13-inch MacBook Pro that I really enjoy with the Kaby Lake processor. Definitely use that for editing, and my 5K iMac up here in the back for editing. This, for me, is the ultimate machine for a person who doesn't want to spend a lot of money, who's not heavy into editing and all that, and can do mild gaming, but definitely would like a long-lasting battery. The battery lasts for a long time, by the way. You want something with a long-lasting battery, media consumption, this is the way to go. Docs, internet, emails, all those things can be done on here without flaw. So it's your man Jay Will, updated video on my Acer touchscreen Chromebook. Really love this thing. It's really nice. My bedside machine. I'll take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Do you have one of these? If you do, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about yours. Are you having any problems with it? Do you like the keyboard? Do you like the speakers? Do you like the touchscreen? How do you feel about the battery life? You know, give it up. See you guys. See you in the next video. Take care.